You may think gangs and mafias operate with violence and blood, but meet the Lazarus Group, a mafia organization that operates from within the heart of North Korea. They don't rely on guns, knives, or fists to intimidate their victims. No, their weapon of choice is far more deadly: hacking. These cybercriminals have orchestrated some of the most devastating and complex cyberattacks in history, leaving behind a trail of destruction that costs billions of dollars, cripples governments, and sends shockwaves through global industries. Their operations are silent, their methods precise, and their motives nothing short of a global agenda. This is not just any group. This is the Lazarus Group, North Korea's most notorious cyber mafia. A group whose reach extends far beyond borders, whose influence spreads like a virus, infecting banks, corporations, and even entire nations. And today, we're going to unravel the mystery behind them. The story begins in the mid-2000s in a small, isolated country, North Korea. While much of the world focused on its military threats and nuclear ambitions, a more secretive operation was taking shape in the shadows, an operation that would change the landscape of cybercrime forever. North Korea's regime, led by Kim Jong-un, has always been notorious for its quest for power, but like many other authoritarian governments, it sought ways to bypass global sanctions, generate income, and assert influence. And what better way to achieve all of this than by harnessing the power of the internet? In the early 2000s, the North Korean government began to assemble a team of highly skilled hackers. They weren't just any hackers. They were trained in clandestine operations, their skills honed in secret government-backed facilities. They were the elite, the Lazarus Group. But what makes this group different from other cybercriminal organizations? For one, Lazarus isn't just a group of rogue individuals looking to make a quick buck. No, the Lazarus Group operates with the full backing of North Korea's government, and their cyberattacks are often state-sponsored, with the ultimate goal of furthering the country's military and political objectives. Unlike traditional gangs that rely on street violence or intimidation, the Lazarus Group thrives in the digital world, and their tools of destruction are far more subtle. Their methods aren't about taking hostages or making headlines with gruesome acts of violence. Instead, their attacks target the very heart of global infrastructure, the financial systems. They use malware, sophisticated, almost invisible software designed to infiltrate systems without detection. They use ransomware, a type of software that locks victims' computers until they pay a hefty ransom. And they use social engineering, the art of tricking people into revealing their personal information. But the Lazarus Group is not just a run-of-the-mill cyber gang. They're highly organized and intelligent, making their attacks almost impossible to predict and even harder to stop. They've stolen billions of dollars, disrupted critical infrastructure, and caused global chaos, all from the safety of their headquarters in North Korea. One of the Lazarus Group's most infamous attacks came in 2014 when they launched a devastating cyber attack on Sony Pictures Entertainment. At first glance, it may have seemed like just another hack, but in reality, this attack was a direct response to a single film, The Interview. The Interview, a satirical comedy about a plot to assassinate North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, angered the North Korean regime. In retaliation, Lazarus targeted Sony Pictures with a cyber attack that was as brutal as it was calculated. The hackers infiltrated Sony's internal systems, stealing personal information, emails, confidential business documents, unreleased films, and more. But the true damage wasn't just in the stolen files. The attack was designed to destroy Sony's reputation, and it worked. The media frenzy that followed only amplified the humiliation. This wasn't just about stealing secrets. It was about sending a message. The Lazarus Group wanted the world to know that they had the power to reach beyond borders, to undermine even the most powerful corporations. And they could do it without firing a single bullet. But the Lazarus Group didn't stop with Sony. In 2017, they launched one of the most notorious cyber attacks in history, the WannaCry ransomware attack. This attack didn't target a single company or individual. No, it was global. WannaCry spread like wildfire, infecting over 200,000 computers in 150 countries, including critical systems in healthcare, telecommunications, and government organizations. The attack paralyzed Britain's National Health Service, NHS, delaying surgeries, treatments, and causing untold chaos in hospitals. The method was simple, yet devastating. WannaCry exploited a vulnerability in Microsoft's Windows operating system, one that had been discovered by the U.S. National Security Agency, NSA. But before the vulnerability could be patched, Lazarus stole the exploit and used it to unleash their ransomware attack. The message was clear. Lazarus could reach anywhere, anytime. And the damage wasn't just in financial terms. The WannaCry attack had far-reaching consequences for the global cybersecurity landscape, forcing organizations to rethink their security measures and raise the stakes in the battle against cybercrime. In 2016, the Lazarus Group launched a cyber attack on Bangladesh Bank, one of the largest financial institutions in Bangladesh. This wasn't a typical hack. It was a heist of unprecedented scale. The hackers targeted the bank's international wire transfer system, SWIFT, and attempted to steal a staggering $1 billion. Using sophisticated malware, the Lazarus hackers were able to initiate fraudulent transactions, moving money from the bank's account at the Federal Reserve Bank of New York to various accounts around the world. Luckily, a last-minute error in one of the transactions caught the attention of a bank employee who halted the heist before more money could be stolen. In the end, the hackers only managed to steal $81 million. But the heist was one of the most daring and audacious in history. This attack wasn't just a financial crime. It was a statement. Lazarus was making it clear that they could strike anywhere, even at the heart of the global financial system, with near impunity. But the Lazarus Group's reach extends far beyond banks and corporations. In recent years, the group has turned its attention to a new target: cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and others have taken the world by storm. But for Lazarus, they represent an opportunity to bypass traditional financial systems and generate funds for North Korea's nuclear ambitions and other illicit activities. And the group has proven to be incredibly successful in stealing millions of dollars in digital currencies. Lazarus has targeted cryptocurrency exchanges, stealing vast amounts of digital money, and even using cryptojacking, hijacking unsuspecting users' computers to mine cryptocurrency for the group's benefit. In the world of cybercrime, Lazarus has become a dominant player in the cryptocurrency heist scene, and their attacks continue to escalate in scale and sophistication. The Lazarus Group's attacks have had profound consequences on a global scale. Governments, businesses, and individuals have all felt the impact of their cyber onslaughts. Nations like South Korea, the United States, and Japan have been prime targets, but no one is safe. In response, global cybersecurity organizations, including the U.S. Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, and the European Union Agency for Cybersecurity, ENISA, have ramped up efforts to track and neutralize Lazarus. But the group remains elusive, constantly adapting and evolving. And the international community has taken notice. The U.S. has imposed sanctions on North Korea, linking Lazarus to the regime's wider objectives of nuclear development and economic warfare. The United Nations has also called for greater global cooperation in the fight against cybercrime, especially against state-sponsored groups like Lazarus. But despite all the attention, the Lazarus Group remains a shadowy figure in the digital world. No one really knows who the members of the group are or where they're located. They operate under layers of anonymity using VPNs, proxies, and encrypted communications to conceal their identities. What's most terrifying is their ability to remain one step ahead. The Lazarus Group constantly refines its techniques, develops new malware, and stays ahead of cybersecurity measures. Their success is a testament to the sophistication of their operations and the incredible resources at their disposal. Today, the Lazarus Group remains one of the most feared cybercriminal organizations in the world. They continue to launch high-profile cyberattacks, stealing millions, disrupting economies, and sending shockwaves across the globe. And what's more terrifying is that they're not done. With each attack, Lazarus proves that in the world of cybercrime, violence is not always necessary to cause destruction. Sometimes a single line of code is enough to bring down entire systems. So, the next time you hear about a major hack or ransomware attack, remember this: the Lazarus Group is out there, lurking in the shadows, waiting to strike, and their next target might be just around the corner. Thank you for watching Crime by Chapter. If this case left you wanting more, like and subscribe so you never miss a moment.